Listen, hey, I have no doubt that what she was doing propelled her into the next level. Hi, Renee, the next level of her millionaire status. Listen, let me tell you something. If if she had never uh, if she had never gotten involved, I don't believe. Good, hi Debbie. I don't believe that we would have ever seen her uh, with so much net worth. I mean, over $2 million. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Michael Chitwood, and I'm coming to you live this evening, as you very well know. I hope all of you are doing good this evening. I want you to say something. Be sure you tell me where you're from there. I've got a little private session I'd like to talk to you about here, and I'd like to give you some information I think is going to help you. So, somebody's got a crazy question. Well, go ahead and fire it away, sir. Go ahead and fire it away. We'll see what he's got to say. I'm sure it's going to be good. So we're happy that Robert is with us this evening, everybody. Good evening, Debbie Booth, my executive broadcast director since the beginning. John Lancer, good to see you. Lucy Gonzalez, one of my favorites. Her whole family is just incredible. Be sure you tell your dad I said hello. By the way, they were with us last week. We were there last week at the conference, the week before, and I'll tell you what, her dad is just incredible. We're so happy about what's taking place. I'm Dr. Charles Martin, my son from Seattle, I guess tonight, normally from Washington State. I'm coming to you live this evening, and we're very happy to be with you. I want to talk to you about something. You know that millionaires believe that they must be generous. Now, this is a real point here. Millionaires believe that they must be generous. The middle class believe they can't afford to give. I don't know about you, but I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about what I was sent today, by the way. And I mean, I was sent a stack of bills from people that is heavily in debt. I don't know if you know. In fact, I've got it right here. Yeah, right here it is. I mean, listen to this. One lady has $28,000 worth of credit card debt. Her house payments are over $2,000 a month. And she's a nurse. She works for a nurse in North Carolina. She's a nurse, works for a hospital in North Carolina. Here's John. Now, John is in Dallas, Texas, and that's a great state, by the way. I love Dallas, Texas. But this guy here has $34,000 worth of credit card debt. Do you know that they love for you to be in debt? There's Violetta there, Chitwood Meredith. Good to see you there, Meredith. They love for you to be in debt because you're adding all that interest. They charge you interest on all that stuff there. I mean, they love for you to be in debt, these banks and finance charges and credit cards. Now, it's okay to use your credit card. I have to use my credit card because you can't even rent a car these days without a credit card or check into a hotel room. So you have to have a credit card. There's no question about it. But what I want to talk to you about briefly here, and I've got something I want to tell you that I think is very important. It's not just the millionaires believe that they must be generous, but the middle class believes that they can't afford to be generous. Now, number one, write this down. Somebody type this on the screen real quickly. Now, get your fingers ready to rock and roll, okay? We're moving tonight. You have to learn to be generous. It's not something that is just an instinct just to give your money away to whatever cause. You need to be philanthropist. You need to give to your church. You need to give to your pastor. Being generous is really fun if you learn to be generous the right way. So somebody put up number one, you need to learn to be generous. Now, this is a practical thing. This is not a spiritual thing. So all you that's so spiritual minded that you're no earthly good, just get your head out of the spiritual area for just a minute and go with me on the practical side. It actually feels good. And in fact, let me change that. It feels great when you give from your heart. Now, if you give grudgingly, hi, Rose. There's Rose. She was with us last week, by the way. Bluebird, good to see you too. It feels good to give from the heart. But if you give grudgingly, or out of somebody standing over you making you give, it's not nearly as fun. It feels good to be a giver. Now, what's important about this is you need to realize that there's a system here that works, because If you don't work this, then you're not going to be able to do this. Hey, Brother Brown from Atlanta, good man there. Millionaires embrace change. Millionaires embrace change. That's a good word there, Bluebird. God loves a cheerful giver, not someone that's giving out of necessity or you're having to get. There's Ann Hume. She is a great prayer warrior and intercessor. She's the state chapter president in Minnesota up there. I believe it's Minnesota. Yeah, it is Minnesota, isn't it, John? John, is it Minnesota? Minneapolis. Okay. The middle class is threatened by change. Now, put that down. Number 2, millionaires embrace and adjust to change. Millionaires adjust to change. There she is. Millionaires adjust to change. The middle class is threatened by change. They always have been. I mean, see, millionaires see opportunities in change. The middle class people, who are great people, by the way, they just haven't been taught. That's why, if you'll let me just embark just a minute on what the word says about this, because the word is our foundation for everything. You know that. But the Bible says in Luke that the children of this world are smarter or wiser. And if you look up the Living Translation, it says shrewder than the children in the church. So you have to understand something, that millionaires choose to be rich. The middle class wishes they could be rich. Number 3, the millionaires choose to be rich. Choose to be rich. Somebody needs to hear that word right there. You're right. You're right, Debbie. That's exactly right. Jesus said, Jesus' words, look them up in the Bible, says that the children of the world are shrewder than the children in the church. Now, millionaires choose to be rich. Somebody put that up real quick. Millionaires choose to be rich. The middle class wishes they were rich. They just sit around wishing. They look at all of the millionaires with their yachts. They look at these Rolls Royces and Bentleys and Maseratis, and they just wish they could have that, not knowing that there is a way to attain that. It's very important that we see. It's very important that we see this. See, number 4, the millionaires, we talk about ideals. The middle class talks about things and other people. See, millionaires talk about ideals. I'm always creating something. If you could see my desk right now, I wish I could show it to you. I'm stacked. I've got at least, John, what would you say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. John, if you could help me with this, I'd appreciate it, because you are being paid. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got about 14 books on my desk right now. And by the way, let me tell you something. I know right now why that some of you have never gone any further with us than you are now, is because some of you haven't even read my books. I read my books before I read anybody else's books, because I know the lives of most of the people. Let me get onto this if I can. It's very important that you know that your words reveal your heart and your mind. Number 5, the words you use reveal. Hi, dear Pantasu and Czek, they're good. Now, I've written over 155 books on wealth and money and success. And so Jenny Lee, she was with us too. Jenny, I have bought and read your books. Jenny, congratulations. You're going to the next level. I promise you that. So listen, it's careful. The words you use reveal your heart and your mind. Is your heart full of disrespect? I'm reading from one of my books right now. That's what I'm reading from. Is your heart full of disrespect for the people in your life? Do you respect the people that's around you? See, if you don't admire me, I'm not talking about putting me on a pedestal, but if you don't admire me, you'll never be able to get anything from me. You have to admire the man that's your teacher, your pastor, your mentor, your coach. Is your mind full of negative thoughts, or is your mind full of positive thoughts? Thank you, Lucy Gonzalez. I admire you too. You're a great young lady. I love you. There's Laura Bush, by the way. I've read a lot of your books. Good job, Laura. You're going to the next level. So your words, you have to respect and admire, and greatly admire. Thank you, Jenny. So listen to the words you speak, and you will know what is coming out of your mouth is generated from your heart and from your mind. People who complain are literally cursing themselves. Now, if you want to get spiritual, Jesus was really clear about this. It wasn't adultery, it wasn't stealing or anything else that he didn't really like. He didn't like any of that stuff. But here's what he really didn't like. He said, I don't like people that sit around and murmur, grumble, and complain. If you want to stop cursing yourself and start blessing yourself, see, you have the power. I have the power to bless you too, of course, but you have the power to curse yourself, but you also have the power to bless yourself. I just believe a lot of you are going to be blessed. Now, let me tell you what I'm doing. Now, I know a bunch of these preachers that's watching is going to jump all over this. And Brother Brown, I want you to be a part of this and help me with this. But I don't know about you, but I'm tired of these good Christians being in debt. I mean, they're strapped with debt. I hope the banks never make another penny off of interest charges to you or the finance charges that they're charging you. I hope they never lend you another penny to do anything, because I've always taught you that you earn it, you have it, and then you spend it. You don't buy on credit. We don't do that. We don't pay interest. We've never paid any interest in our life. Never. My daddy taught us better. If our daddy knew, it wouldn't be good. So I don't know what anyone else is doing about this. I don't know what anyone else is doing. But I can tell you the people around me are debt-free, and the ones that's not debt-free are moving into debt-free. Now, Ann Hume just has good. The blessings is where the bank pays you instead of you paying the bank and your credit card company. So let me tell you what I've done. Now, I know some of you preachers are going to jump all over this. I know you are, but I just ask you to hear my heart. I believe that one of the church's jobs is to get people out of debt. Somebody put out there, I want to be out of debt. Anybody want to be out of debt tonight? I mean, totally out of debt. Now, not debt-free because bums are debt-free. I'm talking about being out of debt. Debt cancellation, out of debt. Somebody put out there, I want to be out of debt. I can't believe it. I can't believe that those that's posting. Now, look at this. There we go. I want to be out of debt. I want to be out of debt. Dr. Martin agrees. I want to be out of debt. That's what you should be saying. I want to be out of debt. You ought to be also saying, Bishop Cornelius Blake. I'm going to see him just in a few days right here. So, and by the way, we have about 20 people that's coming into the big meeting here in the state of Florida. Here we have a big meeting here at Dr. Helen Kennedy's church. It's going to be great. The Warrior Bride and the ICCM. We were hoping that some of the other ladies would come. We got about 15 ICCM Warrior Bride intercessors coming. But here's what God told me to do. Somebody put up on the screen now, why not me? Type that on there real quick. Why not me? Why not me? Now, we bought 39 automobiles and given away to people, and we're glad to do that. We like to do that. My daddy did some. I've done some. I've done a little bit more than Dad because I'm obviously still here. Dad's in heaven with everybody. But God spoke to me this last week, and he said, Michael, what are you doing to help people get out of debt? I said, well, I brought all of these funders of the end time harvest in here. I've been bringing biblical economics in here for years. For years, I've been teaching you biblical economics. Dr. John's been teaching biblical economics. I mean, a lot of people have come through here. Dave has come through here and taught on biblical economics. We've had a lot of people to come and teach on biblical economics. But it doesn't seem like that you're getting out of debt. It seems like that you're buying things to impress other people that you don't even know. So here's what I want to do. God spoke to me and he says, every Sunday, somebody will be receiving $1,000 or more. Now, it could go up. It could be to $5,000. But every Sunday, when you're in Celebration Church, somebody is going to be receiving $1,000 when they walk out the doors to pay on their bills. Now, you have to be in the right position in the church to get that. You don't have to be a member. You don't even have to be a tither. But you have to be in the church in the right position to receive this 1,000 or more. It's starting at 1,000. If no one is the recipient of it this week, then it will move up, and pretty soon it builds on up. And God wants me to put that into your hands to start you on the journey of becoming debt-free. I want you to be out of debt. Does anybody want to be out of debt tonight? Do you like that four-letter word wrapped around your neck? It's like a rope around your neck. Debt. Debt's one of the worst four-letter words that you could ever. Felicia, good. Barbie, good to see you there, Felicia. Stephen, hi. I hate debt. Stephen hates debt. Anybody that loves debt and loves paying on interest, all that interest that you're paying. I don't know if you know this. Did you know that the word debt in the Greek means sting of the scorpion. The word interest, not debt, I said that wrong. The word interest in Greek means sting of the scorpion or bite of the serpent. How many has made a payment on your credit card? You paid $100. You found out that 90 of it went to the interest and $10 went to principal. That's called the sting of the scorpion or the bite of the serpent. And also the word mortuary in Greek means mortgage or death. Mortuary. Mortgage means mortuary or death. Somebody needs to put that up because somebody needs to pay attention to this. Because the house payment that you're paying, I guarantee you, if you look at it, you're going to find out that most of that house payment is interest, not principal. Now, I'm just trying to help you with this. And I mean, listen, you need to understand something. A man on the corner that's got a sandal around his neck that says, we'll work for food, he can't help you with finances. Don't ever ask a broke person about money. You need to be asking me about money because I study money. That's what I study is money. So God told me to start this Sunday. Everybody's got the same opportunity. If you're in the right position in that church, I'm talking about in the right position in that church, Celebration Church, then you're going to walk out the door with $1,000, one person. We're going to do that every Sunday until God tells me to stop it. So I just want to let you know that it's very important that you need to be, there it is right there, Debbie Booth, my executive broadcast director. She's my social media executive broadcast director there since the beginning. I guess it's been 3 years. She runs 50, I believe it's 51 social media sites, I believe it is. Latanya Watson, good evening to you, by the way. I appreciate you very much. You're a great lady. You're a great lady. Miss seeing you too, by the way. God bless you. My address is 6425, 52. Debbie just put it up. She's 52 social media sites. I have 8.5 million people. Actually, it's a little bit more than 8.5 million people. And we have 67 million on Periscope. 67 million on Periscope. We're located at 6425 Lee Highway, and we start service at 10 a.m. That's our main Bible class teaching there. And then we have intermission. The last Sunday was off the charts. The glory of God fell in that place last Sunday, one of the greatest services that we've had there in years. But we had a great service, and we had intermission. We went next door to the Celebration ballroom, and we all had some fellowship and food. And then we came back and had our main service. So sometimes you have to do things a little bit different. And the fellowship, by the way, was just incredible. I got to talk to everybody. I got to ask about their families because I like people. You know, I was at a funeral one time with Bill Clinton in Atlanta. The mayor died. And some of the people came up and asked him, some of the press came up and said, we can't believe that when you took the microphone up there and gave the eulogy, said, why does these African-American, or he said black people, like you so much? Bill Clinton stopped for just a moment and he thought, and he said, well, it's pretty simple. He said, what is it? Tell us. He said, well, normally black people like people that like them. I just like people. I like to know about your family. I like to know about how your family's doing. I like to know about the children's in school. I mean, Roma Hamby confirms it was the greatest service we've had in years at Celebration Church. And it was all because we listened to what God told us to do. We did what God told us to do. Now, Cornelius Blake, and by the way, he has a great book, My Wealthy Place, and you need to get that book from Bishop Cornelius Blake. It is a great, great book. And by the way, he helps me with a lot of my books. Bishop Cornelius Blake, thank you very much for all that you do to help me. I'm going to be able to see you just in a couple of days here with you and your First Lady Sheila, First Lady of the Church, Sheila. So we're very excited about what God is doing. Now, let me get back to this teaching real quick. I want to just finish this up. The next time that you are tempted to complain, ask yourself, what is life trying to teach me? See, I believe that everything happens to you happens for a reason. And you'll either learn from it and get better, or you won't. Now, I want to read something to you very quickly here out of this book. This is a great book, by the way. This is a great book, and I love this book. Of course, I wrote it. I like all my books. I want to read something to you here about what we're doing. Now, you understand that in this process, let me see if I can look over here just a minute. Give me just a second. I want to see if I can find this because I want to tell you something. You do understand that fear and procrastination both have the same DNA. Say, many of you should be your own CEO right now. You should be starting your other business. What have I taught you for years? 2,500 hours of coaching on here. Every Monday night, we did coaching for, I guess it was 3 or 4 years, wasn't it, Debbie? Something like that. I mean, John Lancer, good evening to you, sir. So it's important for you to understand that in this process, that the middle class is trapped in this rat race because it doesn't take the proper risk to do what it needs to do. We often say this: when you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. You have to do something that you've never done. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Good word. So you cannot have fear and procrastination in your life. Now, it's important that you understand through this process. Let me take this off just a minute because I'm pinning this book for a person. They wanted me to underline everything in this book, and so I'm taking the time to do this. See, the middle class, let me give you the 5 groups of people is this. Let me give this to you real quick. Write this down real quick. There's 5 groups of people. There's only 5 groups of people in the world. Only 5. There's 5. Somebody put up 5. There's only 5. Listen carefully, okay? There's the very poor. Then you have the second class, poor. And then you have the middle class, which is a third. And then you have the very rich. And then, of course, with that, you have the wealthy. You have those people that's rich, very poor, poor. And these groups of people think differently. Let me give them to you real quick. Poor people think week to week. Poor people think week to week. In other words, if you could just barely get by this week, man, you've got it made. Poor people think week to week. Middle class people think month to month. Oh my God, I feel the power already of living life without limits. Middle class people think month to month. The rich people think year to year. Now get this one. And the very, very rich people, millionaires, we think decade to decade. My question to you this evening, and by the way, I'm glad that you're with me, but my question to you this evening, how are you thinking? Are you thinking week to week? Are you thinking month to month, year to year, or decade to decade? You have to realize that the primary goal for the very poor and the poor are just survival. Poor people and very poor people, all they want to do is survive. You're welcome, Bishop. It's a great book. You need to get that. Go on Amazon or go online. Bishop Cornelius Blake in Port St. Lucie, one of our overseers, a great, great man. The poor people only think about survival. They just want to know how they can eat, and how they can get to work, and how they can get up and pay the electric bill. The primary goal for the middle class is comfort. Boy, all they want is comfort. They don't have any net worth. Their portfolio is bad. They have none. And the primary goal for the rich and very rich is freedom. So in this evening, I want you to know the main purpose for money, other than preaching the gospel and helping churches and preach. That's the main reason. We've always taught you to seek first the kingdom of God. We know all that from the book of Matthew. We know that. But this is a practical class. This is not a Bible class. Here's what I want to share with you. The main reason why that you want money is for what? I need somebody to put that on the screen. I'm going to wait until you put it on the screen. The number one reason why that you desire and want and need money is for what reason? What is it? The rich and the very rich. There it is. Suzanne's got it. LaTanya's got it. Roma Hamby's got it. Bishop Cornelius Blake's got it. You want to be a blessing, but you also want money for the fact that it gives you freedom. Money gives you choices. And when my money doesn't do what I tell it to do, it's going to be a bad day for my money. So therefore, you need to understand that money gives you choices, but it gives you freedom. Freedom to do what you want to do. If you want to go get on your jet and go somewhere and teach or preach or do a seminar, it gives you the freedom to call your pilots and say, hey, Scott and Jim, what I did, crank up the engines, get the plane ready, take the caps off. We're getting ready to fly to Dallas, Texas, and put me at 45,000 feet if that's a flight pattern, okay. You have the right to get out in your car and do what you want to do. You have the right and the freedom to eat where you want to eat. You know, I know a man one time that he had an anniversary. He was so proud. It was his 30-year anniversary. And do you know where he took his wife to? The Red Lobster. Listen, I've never eaten at a Red Lobster. I don't even know what a Red Lobster is. It's some kind of a seafood place or something, but I don't eat at Red Lobsters. And if that's where you want to eat, then it's okay for you to eat there. But I'm trying to tell you now, I would never take my wife, Nancy. I see you. I see it. Good word, Nancy. I see what you're talking about, and what you're talking about is simply this, that I want to have the freedom. Oh my God, I feel the power of living life without limits. Somebody put that on the screen quickly. Living life without limits. Living life. We have a brand new song coming. The song's already written. I'm just waiting on my son to put the tracks and the music to it, and I think he's working on it sometime this week. I don't think he's working on it tonight, but I think he's going to be working on it later in the week. At least I'm believing that. Y'all start helping me. Say, Dr. Martin is going to work on Dr. Chitwood's theme song, Living Life. How many heard the theme song at the conference, by the way? How many heard the theme song at the conference? Living Life Without Limits, Living Life. How many heard that song at the conference? Look at it. Yes, yes, yes. Lucy loves it, by the way. Everybody loves it. I mean, they love the theme song. We just got to get it finished up here and get it on Apple. We're going to do that. Freedom is a big factor in you becoming rich. If you want to give 1,000 to your preacher, give it to him. If you want to say, preacher, here's 10,000, go on the radio or go on television or do something. Listen, money is, Jenny Lee, she loved the theme song, Living Life Without Limits, Living Life. I mean, they got that way to put that little, the calisthenic lyrics in there. You know, I don't know how to do that, but hey, listen, it's important that you understand that money gives you freedom to do exactly like you want to do. Do you have it? Freedom. Thinking month to month, as the middle class do, is being concerned with monthly bills such as mortgage payments, car payments, credit card payments, and even student debt. By the way, the middle class typically earn about $25,000 to $100,000. I don't know if you know that, but the middle class normally earns about 25 on the low side to $100,000. But thinking year to year, as rich people do, I mean, talk about thinking year to year, you know, they start learning about fiscal responsibility, financial literacy, investing. Rich people typically make about 100,000 to 500,000. You're considered to be rich. But thinking decade to decade, as the very rich do, is where you find your business plans that reach far into the future, and they're millionaires. They earn a lot more than $500,000 a year. So tonight, what I wanted to bring to you is I want you to start focusing on getting out of debt. Now, let me give you a simple plan because I told you I would. Okay? Let me give you a simple plan. I've taught this for years. There's 3 things that I own. I own Master Your Finances, Master Your Money, and Building and Accumulating Wealth. I own those 3. It's all the same system. Not trying to get you to buy a system. Don't buy it. Let me give you your first step. For those of you, Donna Thompson, there's Donna Thompson, everybody. She just joined there. Donna, good evening to you. Be sure you tell your family I said hello. Here's a secret. You're looking at all your debt. Let me tell you the best way to do it. Don't try to pay a little bit on everything. It's not going to work because they're going to eat you up with interest. Take your smallest payment. Let's say that your smallest monthly payment is like $38 a month. Payment on that credit card debt, that snake that's around your neck. I want you to start getting that credit card eliminated in full. And when you get that credit card eliminated, then you see, this is the practical tip. Listen, if your preacher is not helping you get out of debt, I have to be careful how I say this because, you know, I represent preachers. I love preachers with all of my heart. God has raised me up to represent preachers. But I also have to tell the truth. There's more to it than just coming to church and shouting and singing and falling out and getting back up. Your preacher should be helping every person eliminate every debt in their life. Now, there's a few debts that you'll have probably at the end, and that's going to be your mortgage payment on your home. That's a big one. But your credit card debt needs to go. Somebody put on that screen, credit card debt, go. When I come into a church to do Living Life Without Limits, I'm teaching the practical side along with the spiritual side. In fact, we're already booked. Dr. Shaw told me today we're already booked. We have 100 cities booked. I'm coming to 100 cities with Living Life Without Limits. So the preacher should be teaching the practical side as well as the spiritual side. I will tell you this, preachers and ministers of the gospel. Your preachers, your people will appreciate the fact that you're teaching a practical. Get your whiteboard like we had at the conference this year. Get you some of those markers. and get to the board. Teach some practical stuff. Stop all your hooping and your hollering because they can't even remember your message 1 hour after you preach it. Now, you may think they can, but it's been proven that they can't. And it's been proven that within so many hours, they forget about 80% of it. So it's important that we teach the practical side. Thank you for being with us this evening. Thank you for being with us this evening. I believe that you're going to find out that when you start eliminating debt, you'll get that momentum going. The momentum is important, so seize the moment now. A couple of quick announcements, then I'm going to let you go for this evening so you can be with your family and have a good meal. Number one, I want you to join me in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Dr. Helen Kennedy's church. If you're anywhere close by, get to Dr. Helen Kennedy's church. Go to our website and register. It's free of charge, and I'm providing lunch for everybody that comes free of charge, no charge. There's no admission charges, nothing. I'm providing lunch for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that's going to be live there at Dr. Helen Kennedy's church in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Get to Dr. Helen Kennedy's church August the 9th at 10 a.m. We're going to have a great, great time together there. It's ICCM, it's Warrior Bride, and it's also going to be grant teaching. I'm going to do 2 hours of grant teaching, and you need to hear it because there's money available for women entrepreneurs. And don't get to the place that somebody says, well, I was passed by or passed over again. I'm stopping that now. August 9th, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The whole team is coming in. I want to see you at Dr. Helen Kennedy's church. That's announcement number one. Announcement number two, help me get the word out. Get the word out that at Celebration Church that somebody's going to walk out the door this Sunday with $1,000 or more. Now, let me clarify that. I said that a little bit wrong. We're starting with $1,000. Now, if no one is a recipient of that, then it moves to a higher amount. So it could go on up to $5,000, $10,000. It could go up to $20,000. I don't think it will, but somebody's going to walk out the door. If you're in the right place in Celebration Church, you're going to walk out the door with $1,000. One person. Just one person. But next Sunday, we do the same thing. Next Sunday, we do the same thing. I'm going to start you forward on process of elimination of your debt, cancellation of your debt. I'm going to show you how quickly and how easy it can be done and get you out of that pattern of spend, spend, spend. Okay? Your job, if you choose to accept it, is to get everybody you know the word out that at Celebration Church that Dr. Chitwood is going to make everybody funders of the end time ministry, the end time harvest. I want you to fund the end time harvest. And I can teach you how to do that. I am the best at teaching you the practical side and the spiritual side. They're two different things, but I've merged them together and I know how to do it. So it's very important that you be at Celebration Church at 10 a.m. this coming Sunday. And every person that comes will have an opportunity to participate in this blessing of $1,000 to be paid on your debts. Walking out the door with $1,000, you need to be in one of those seats this coming Sunday. Whoever you have, be sure that you tell them of that. Good little book. I like this book. It's a good book. Good book. If you haven't picked up any of my books, you need to pick them up. They're on Amazon. They're at many of the bookstores. And, of course, they're at our Ministry Resource Center. So I wish you lived there too, Donna Thompson. You're a great, great lady. I'm praying that God will bring a lot of people into Chattanooga, Tennessee, because I want to help you get out of debt. I want to help you get out of debt. And I think by what you said a minute ago, a lot of you would like to be out of debt. Let's do it, okay? Let's do it. All right, everybody, I want you to have a great evening. And just remember, when you want something that you've never had. John, what is it, John? I did. Did you? John is asking me if I told you about Dr. Helen Kennedy's church. Did I tell you guys about Dr. Helen Kennedy's church? I did. I think I did. I'm almost positive I did. But John is saying, John, are you sure that you're with us tonight? Yes, sir. There it is. There it is right there. Everybody's putting up, yes, I told them about it. So, John, thank you for reminding me of something that I already told everybody. John's been with us, by the way, for 43 years. He's a great, great, great guy. Does a great, great job. So God bless you. And remember, when you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. And if I can change the way that you think, I can change the way that you live. And remember this, there's 10 two-letter words that you need to remember. If it is to be, It is up to me. God bless you. Have a powerful evening. Remember, you can live life without any limits. I'll see you next time.